Vincent, it's good to have you around.
Yeah.
Well, this year iFAST celebrates our 25-year anniversary, and I believe that we have had a long journey together. I believe it's been 23 years that two of us has been working closely together.
Yeah. Look at our grey hair, we know already.
I was 31 when we started iFAST 25 years ago, so time flies. But over the years, I guess, 23 years of journey with you, I've always found that among the various FA firm, the CEO and so on, I think you're one of those that I particularly enjoy having conversation with. I find that typically when you look at business plan for a business, you're very forward-looking, you're very much thinking of the strategy, and over the years you just bit by bit move ahead and execute, and it's no wonder that you've been able to grow steadily, all the way. And so it's good to sit down with you, have this conversation.
Thanks. I think 23 years of journey, and then also, in fact, when we about to start the company, iFAST was the first company that we had conversation. I don't know whether you remember or not, together with your co-founder, Hon Ming, you came to our old office in the insurance agency. Yeah. But you know the story, right? A big group of us thinking of coming out, but at the end of the day, just a few of us, because most people would not want to take the plunge. So that was how we got started 23 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time.
I think if you look at the photo, we started in the Ocean Financial Tower, which is actually at the same site, but it's an old building, predecessor to this building. That's how we started, and those days, we started with the B2C part of our business, then B2B.
Actually, those days, we know you're more as fundsupermart.com.
Yes.
I think most of us see you as a unit trust online portal.
We indeed started with the company name fundsupermart.com Private Limited. iFAST name emerged 2 years later, initially as a division, but subsequently we made the name
interestingly,
of the group.
Who came up with the name iFAST?
It's Hon Ming, my co-founder.
Is there any meaning to it?
Yeah, so over the years, many people have actually asked what does iFAST mean? I think people mentioned a few versions. For me, the version that I've always been using to explain is iFAST stands for IFA Services and Transactions.
Oh.
That's iFAST.
I thought we always thought it has something to do with it was the in thing those days when you use anything that starts with the I, okay, and then it gives the impression of technology, digital age, right?
That indeed was one of the version of explanation. iFAST as in internet fast.
Actually, our office, you look at the picture, the first office was also quite near to Ocean Building. Do you know what was the rental we had at Robinson Tower 23 years ago? You want to make a guess?
I imagine it will still be $5-6 per square foot.
We got our first office at Robinson Tower for less than $2 per square foot.
That's very low, right, for this area?
Yeah, and actually that gave us a good start, for our journey. We have seen many places, and eventually we chanced upon this. And we look at the rental, it was after minusing the free fitting out period, the rent fee, everything, it's less than $2. It's a no-brainer. We were there for 5 years. Okay, very convenient place, but 5 years later, the rent shot up to 7 something. We decided to move away from CBD. Yeah, I don't know whether you know the meaning of our company's name. And then in 2011 or so, we rebranded the company. The logo is different. A lot of people may not.
Financial Alliance, eh?
Yeah. Is there a meaning to Financial Alliance?
I suppose Financial Alliance, yours is a big group of different practitioners working together, so I assume it's something along that line.
When we came out from life insurance company, I had that vision that I want to start a company that is truly independent. Those days, the understanding of independent is very different. It evolved over time. At the initial stage, the understanding of independent means that you don't just do life insurance. So you're also able to do mutual funds. You're also able to do securities. And I think when it dates back to year 2000, when Vincent Ee, he said that they're coming out with FA Act, and then the FA Act is meant to create a new platform whereby they can represent life insurance company, unit trust company, and securities firm. So the way we see is that is IFA. So when we start the company, we decided to chart a direction whereby we will always be multi-product and also open architecture model, because only if you could do that, then we are able to truly embrace a more comprehensive financial advisory business and then truly value add to the client. So when we were thinking about the company, I came up with this financial alliance. Of course, we thought about many other names, but eventually I decided on financial alliance because of this kind of belief that our company wanting to be a company whereby we embrace all financial professionals. True enough, I think over the years we have been able to attract a lot of talent from different fields. For me, I came from life insurance background, but I want to attract and create an organization that is equally attractive for people who are from different fields. That was the reason why we chose the name Financial Alliance. And of course, it also constantly gives us the reminder that we need to embrace an open architecture platform. You talk about financial alliance, that means like what you said just now, in alliance with different kinds of business partners to create value proposition for our client, of course, and for our consultants as well.
Back then, when we started the iFAST part of the business, FundSmart started two years earlier, then iFAST part of the business, there's a platform to cater to the IFAs, independent financial advisors. From the perspective of investment product unit trust, I think the size of the market in 2002 was almost literally zero. To start a platform at a time when market size was zero, I think you need to have some basic belief about what are key drivers. To me, it would be a couple of points. One would be the fact that with the Financial Advisors Act being introduced, with the independent advisors being able to advise beyond insurance product, I think that will create an important new market, very good level of service that consumers will want and feel an important gap in the overall financial market. And that will drive the growth. But of course, I think there were a lot of skepticism by many people, maybe most people initially, about whether the IFA companies can truly grow. But for me, I was quite confident that it will certainly be able to grow and grow quite well. And that confidence was also backed by one basic belief as well, that when a group of entrepreneurs emerge with a background of being well-versed in financial planning, financial advice, this group of players will be able to make a difference. This group of players will find a way to ensure that it can grow, not just survive, but grow and thrive. So that was a clear belief that I had at that point in time. So that gave us the courage to say, let's put a big part of the company's resources into this investment platform that are eyeing the IFA companies primarily as a group of customers and partners that we're working with. And I suppose the subsequent years show that that belief has been well-founded, because in the next, I think, 5 years, there was a very strong growth.
There was a spike from, I think, 2002 all the way to 2007, right?
Yes.
There was a spike, but it was also because of a lot of interesting development, those days. I think if we look back the last 23, 25 years, we stuck to a certain belief, and here we are, we have grown to a certain size, but it was not without pain and struggle, I believe. I think over the last 20 over years, there have been so many things that had happened, whether macro level, micro level. Yeah, interesting. Maybe we can remember, can share a bit of the challenges that iFAST had experienced over the years.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, I think over the years, I always mentioned that one of the most challenging and maybe for me frightening period was actually, in fact, in early 2003, which was
SARS.
Quite soon, after the Financial Advisors Act was enacted. So that was a SARS period. That was frightening for me, because firstly, back then we haven't grown that much in terms of business. We were waiting for the Financial Advisors Act to emerge for the business volume to come. And we were making losses, so we were trying to improve our business model. Eventually, I think in October 2002, so the IFAs emerged. But I suppose what was scary for me was that in the first 6 months after the IFAs emerged, there was very little business volume. I suppose that happened for a couple of reasons. One is initial months, I think, tend to be slower. But secondly, it was also a period where the stock market has gone through 2 years of bear market. The whole thing ended off with SARS happening, and all of a sudden, people start to be worried about going out of the home, and you start to wonder whether our staff will be able to come to office. So that was certainly I would say the most frightening period for me.
For Financial Alliance, during SARS, we didn't really feel the pressure. I don't know why. Maybe my memory faded. Okay, but
Maybe your business volume was more stable back then.
Not true. But I think maybe when we first started off, we started in 2002, and then when it goes into 2003, right? I think vast majority of our consultants did life insurance business. We were at that time slowly picking up, in terms of UT business, right? The learning curve was steep. So a lot of people devote their time doing life insurance business. So maybe that was a saving grace. They able to take care of their bread and butter. So we don't really feel it. And during SARS also, I think life insurance business continued to do well. We also saw a spike in UT business, after 03, 04. Okay, even in our firm. But I think over the last 20 over years, right? We have gone through SARS, we have gone through GFC, then we have gone through this fair implementation, which I understand it doesn't really affect iFAST because fair regulation, right, changes mainly on the financial advisors. So we were affected quite a bit. Right?
Is it because of the additional workload and requirements?
Yeah, because there were a lot of new regulation. It was very, very draining at that time because I had to participate with all the discussion, negotiation, and to make sure that eventually MAS will not come out with fair guidelines that is too onerous for the industry. Fair is the result of GFC, okay? Because GFC resulted in quite a lot of investors' losses. It lasted for a period of 3 to 4 years, from 2012 all the way to 2016. Right? Then we saw implementation started one after another.
Yeah.
So we have to adapt. But it also helps to tidy up the industry. Seeing it from the positive side, it helps to elevate the industry to a new level whereby people understand the importance of compliance. Even the company side also, through a lot of interaction, everybody are more aware about how they should manage the company.
I suppose fair then, in a sense, sort of demarcate what I typically call the first phase of the FA industry, because FA industry started in 2002. So from my perspective, I think for the first 10 years, that sort of was the first phase of the industry. 2002 to 2007, there was a very rapid growth of the IFA industry, and various FA firms were formed. And business volume also grew very, very well all the way until 2007, until the GFC came. Then it was interrupted somewhat. So I suppose then you went through a couple of relatively slow years, then that's where the fair review kicked in. So that probably then led on to a bit of a shift in the industry as well at the point in time.
Look at this picture now. This iFAST picture consists of only Singapore staff.
Actually, this was taken in Malaysia, in KL, when we were having symposium. It's a group meeting. So we basically held it in KL last year. KL is right now a very big office for us. I think we have something like 700 people in KL, but as a group today we have over 1,000 employees in 5 different countries. And so the people who went to that symposium, that conference, then we have 100 over people from the different country, and then the rest were basically the Malaysian stuff. And the photo, where was that?
2024 also, I think.
2024.
Yeah, I think it's 2024 also. Yeah, I mean, looking at the sheer number of people in the organization, we have grown, but of course, iFAST grown much bigger as compared to Financial Alliance, because it's a completely different business model that we are talking about. So yeah, interesting. 23 years for us, we've gone through a lot of pain and struggle, and as we emerge from all those obstacles, really require certain form of beliefs, right, and determination. The industry was really quite competitive. I think maybe your industry is not so competitive, right? Because back then, even I don't see many competitors close to iFAST, right? So, but ours, Ours, you can count the number of FA firms, and actually since 2006 or 2007 onwards, competition has been very keen all the way for the last 10, 15 years.
Last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, very keen. Yeah, and the competition I was talking about mainly in terms of recruitment and pricing. People are starting to recruit reps, throwing in high commission payout, and they think that they could survive operating like a real estate agency. And that actually affected us quite a lot. But competition, you have to face it, you have to adjust. So over the years, we continue to adjust, all right, and meet up with the competition, raise the compensation structure so that we are more or less on the equal footing.
So in the midst of this stiff competition for the last 10, 15 years, then how does Financial Alliance still ensure that it's able to continue to grow progressively?
When the competition started in 2006 onwards, right, we started to revise our remuneration. But what we did was that we didn't, from the very first instant, jump onto matching the competition straight away. We didn't do that because we know if we do that, we will kill ourselves. So we promised our people that we will increase our remuneration gradually. So from 2006, we started increasing our reps compensation. I think about 7 or 8 years, we have been keep on adjusting until we are almost on par with all the major competitors. So by doing so, it actually gives us the breathing space. We believe in fundamentals. We believe in building organization that is fully supported by strong infrastructures, and all that costs money, right? So if we have immediately brought all the resources into competing for reps, we won't be able to achieve that. So that was actually a right decision that we made. And so we spent time to build our company's infrastructure, build a strong foundation, but at the same time slowly increase the payout. And years later, we found ourselves with a stronger organization, good processes, strong IT system support, good culture, and at the same time, by then, our reps compensation model is also on par with all the major competitors, right? So that kind of process helps a lot. We didn't really just jump into it and then fight competition with whatever money that we have. We didn't do that. Right? So that helps a lot.
Yeah. For our business as a platform, it's true that we have fewer competitors, but over the years we also have phases where there were pretty stiff competition from a competitor. In particular was the initial years. B2B platform business for us started in 2002, and it was ourselves and Navigator. Navigator back then was an established platform coming from Australia. So they came in Singapore, started when the FA industry was emerging as well. The first 2 years when we started, probably certain decisions on the model wasn't quite right, so they didn't grow. So later on, by 2004, 2005, Navigator sort of woke out a bit and put in a new management team, more aggressive management team, and they're keen to grab much more business. So what actually happened then was they actually went around to the whole industry and say, yeah, they're here to gain the market share. And back then we were still relatively small. We're a local company. They are part of a big group. That was the kind of conversation that they were giving to the industry. And indeed, they basically just dropped the price, use money to grab market share. So I went through some of that thinking and consideration as well. So you're talking about if you match all the way, then it will be a problem because you won't be able to survive. And I went through that kind of thinking as well. So we know that we have to reduce some of our pricing somewhat, but we were not able to match because if we match, we'll die anyway. So the key really is about making the pricing more competitive, but it's about the value for money. It's about the ability to deliver the services.
We have witnessed that. You mentioned about the keen competition. Yeah, we heard of it also. Financial Alliance certainly not one of the companies that buy all those whatever goodies that dish out to us, but we heard about it. If you want to continue to expand, you must evolve. If you don't evolve, you can never continue to expand. You continue to do what you used to do and expand your business, you will hit roadblocks. There will be obstacles, there will be plenty of challenges that you have to overcome.